Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to do things a little bit differently in the next couple of days and weeks and months. I'm going to be creating a series of celebrity readings, and in this particular reading I wanted to focus on my all-time favorite country music singer, Carrie Underwood, and the guy that you see in the photograph right next to her is her husband, Mike Fisher, who is part of the Nashville, I can't remember the name of the team, but he is married to her, and they have been married for quite some time. Now, the reason that I wanted to do this is because I feel like it's, it gives you all a little bit of a background on how I do my readings in private. You never get to see that part of me because I don't do readings typically, via Skype or in person, so it's all done online. But for the intents and purposes of this video, I'm going to be talking about several things that I pick up intuitively about Carrie Underwood. Now, she's an amazing sweetheart. She's a good singer. Her career has taken off ever since American Idol. I feel like she grew up in the spotlight, even though she was already an adult when she got into the fame. But slowly she's, been reflecting. She's had kids, and now she's in a part of her life where she wants to have more privacy, and she also wants to start, expanding into different areas of her career. Now, a lot of people probably are not aware, and some of you may be aware, that she did disappear from the spotlight after the CMAs last year, and this was around November. And a lot of people, there was a lot of speculations as to why she had went MIA, or missing in action, and nobody really knew exactly what was the reason. There's a lot of different possibilities. She has recently come out and revealed several selfies of herself and her injury that she sustained to her face, which, she said that she had was taking out her dogs, and apparently at her house, she has, I guess, quite a bit of steps, and she fell down some of the steps, and in the process, she never let go of the dogs. She held on with that onto the leash of the dogs so they wouldn't run away, and apparently she sustained a fractured wrist, and also sustained a lip injury. As you can see on the picture, it's not that clear here. Maybe if I try to go a little closer, if you can see somewhere about right here, it would be on the left side of her face, if you can see that now. And this is her husband, Mike Fisher, and her. A beautiful woman, and great energy and positive energy from her. But a lot of people were really thinking, why disappear from the public spotlight when you have that? You have to understand, she is a celebrity. She's very much likes her privacy, but she's also a human being, and we are self-conscious about our body and about our looks and stuff like that. So a part of the reason that she did decide to go away, that I get intuitively from her, is that she needed time to heal. Emotionally, when you go through something like this, scarring on your face especially, she could have easily taken the easy way out and got plastic surgery on that to get it fixed up, which I believe later on she will. It just depends on how she's dealing with it now. But a lot of people were thinking, what was the reason that she stepped away from the spotlight, and this was one of the reasons. Now, when I tune into Carrie, her career is far from over. She's coming out with a new album on September the 14th, so she has new music that she's producing now and coming out. What concerns me a little bit more when I tune into the energy of her husband and herself, there are some problems there, and I guess with every marriage or every relationship, there's going to be some evidential problems. When I tune into him, he's a very fiery type of personality. He's he can be loving and affectionate, but at the same time he does have a little bit of a different kind of moods that he goes through, ups and downs, and kind of pulls away from Carrie. He likes Carrie as the, what I get intuitively is that he likes Carrie, the wife, Carrie, the mother of his children, his love of his life, he kind of differentiates or kind of, supports her in everything that she does, but kind of pulls away from Carrie, the persona as the superstar. So, when you look at them, he doesn't see her as the superstar. He sees her more as his wife and his partner. But in their love life right now, this year is going to be very testing. There were some rumors. Again, you can never trust anything that, is said on tabloids and stuff, because they always, tend to dramatize things and, kind of over exaggerate. But the energies, when I pick up as from, a psychic perspective, intuitively, their energies, they show that there is some problems. And I chose this photo because of the body language, but not just because of the body language that he's exhibiting in the photo. He's very protective of Carrie, and I feel like there is a jealousy streak from him, and it's not just from the photo, but his energy. He is 37. I believe Carrie is about 34, 35. I'm not sure of her age exactly, but yeah, there's definitely some tension that he has. Now, what has me kind of concerned is that, what I got intuitively is that, people fall all the time. Okay, let's be honest. People fall all the time, and, there's things that happen. Yes, she did injure her wrist, but, hitting your face and not catching yourself when you're falling, unless you're pushed from the steps, or there was something else that's not being said and it's being covered up by the media and by her publicist, which is what I kind of get more. It could have been an argument that took place between her and Mike, and it escalated and his temper got out of control, and it could have led to something more on the domestic side, a disagreement, and that they were working through these issues ever since the holidays. Yeah, but when they pose in front of the camera as celebrities, we see the picture perfect couple, but there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. And being a man, and he generates about $1 million a year. That's his salary. Carrie, generates more than that from her album sales, from royalties and other projects, advertisements, endorsements, sponsorships that she has going on. So when I'm looking at the relationship itself, there's an imbalance, and that has to do around the money and her success. Again, Carrie, the career maker, Carrie, the person that is a celebrity. So I feel like he kind of feels like she's making a lot more money than he is. And that's not always an issue when there is love, and obviously they love each other. I don't see them separating. I don't feel like it's something like that that's going to happen. And I don't feel like he, is always a person who's violent, but he does have some anger or temper issues that he does need to work on. And if he can get through that, then that will save, their marriage or their relationship for the sake of the kids. But, this is something, she's very compassionate, very understanding of the situation at hand and his feelings. And I feel he's also, I get him as a very religious person. He has a lot of strong faith in religion, and so I believe he's a Christian, and so is Carrie. So they kind of mesh well in those ideals and principles. But as far as like her injury and why she went MIA, there's a lot of mystery around that. And what I get was that there's a lot that's not being told to the public. Could it be to hide or maintain the image of the celebrity superstar, or could it be to protect Mike from that? But definitely there's a lot of issues going on right now in the marriage, and this next year it is going to be they're going to be filled with different ups and downs. Him in particular, having Carrie on tour, having her go and do a lot of performance that pulls her away from the family dynamic and the environment, especially from him, it is going to be something that's very trying, in the relationship itself. But ultimately this couple will be remaining together. That is what I'm seeing. I don't see separation, but I do feel that she will come out when it's time at a later time, and may, reveal what was the true nature of her accident, and what caused the scarring on her upper lip and her broken wrist. I do believe that she would have fallen if she got injured, on her wrist. But as far as the nature as to what caused it or prompted, I don't feel like she just tripped. She's not the clumsy type, and even though you're carrying dogs, a lot of people, she's probably done that forever. So yes, it's a good excuse for the public, a good statement. It explains things. It will kind of cease down, the questioning for, the next couple of months or couple of weeks. But a lot of those that know her closely, will know that this is not like Carrie, to have accidents. I mean, she's, had her dogs heaven knows how long, she's, never had such kind of an accident that would have pulled her out. And when I tune into Carrie, on the emotional and spiritual side, it looks like she is sort of hiding. She's putting a brave face, obviously, but part of her inner psyche and her soul is kind of, contemplating, was this, a mistake to, be in this relationship for this long, and things are still, are kind of rocky because of his, his controlling factor and the protectiveness that he feels for her. And it kind of limits her and in her career in certain aspects. The Carrie that we see now after this accident is going to be much different than the Carrie Underwood that we saw before her accident. And what I mean by that is that you're going to be noticing that she's going to be not touring a lot. She's going to be pulling away from a lot of shows, or maybe certain cancellations of certain shows, certain events. She's going to be more of a homebody at certain times. Again, she'll still be doing appearances, events, and stuff like that, but it will be on a smaller scale rather than a larger scale. And I think this has to do a lot around her marriage and her children, and where her priorities are. When we go into looking into Carrie right now, Carrie is the woman, she is the mother of the children that she has, and she's focused on being a mom right now. And yes, she loves, and that is her career, to be the superstar. But as far as her children are concerned, her family, that is her priority. And she's very forgiving and understanding and compassionate. But yet, the Carrie that we're going to see now, I feel, is a lot more depressive. So she's going through depression. She's going through a lot of different emotions, anxiety, but more depression on her side, dealing with a lot of the stuff that she's having to carry, and then still go on to, on the camera, onto TV, and put on a happy face when really deep inside, she's very self-conscious of her, herself. But she loves herself enough to know that, she's still beautiful regardless of the accident that she's had. And her main goal right now is her family and her marriage. And this is where I see her, having a lot more focus in the next year and next 2 years right now. So we will see a lot more of Carrie, definitely, but on a smaller scale. And we will start seeing a lot more details about, Mike. I think people are going to start questioning after this accident, quote unquote accident that she had, and basically start questioning and looking at a fine microscope with Mike. When it comes to Mike, they're going to be looking at him a lot more, the public eye and Carrie's fans, even though a lot of her fans support her and her husband and her children. A lot of people out there are empaths and psychics. They have abilities, and so they are going to be intuitively picking up on on Carrie, and also on Mike, and how he treats her, and how open he is. I don't feel he is as open as Carrie is about their love life, their relationship, their family, and their kids. Yes, he does share snippets or moments, but he's more of a different type of person. His upbringing is more different than what Carrie Underwood's was. So he's a lot more reserved. And typically with any male, most males don't open up. They're more macho, or they try to put on that macho machismo, and so much in a way that it covers up their true feelings and not very sensitive. They have to be the man, and be the person that really, takes ownership of their family life and stuff like that. So yeah, that is my psychic insight. I definitely feel like she did not say what really happened with her accident, and I do not feel like we know the entire story. We have a distorted story of what has happened, but what I pick up intuitively was that this was not the result of falling down steps that would have caused disfigurement of the upper lip and the broken wrist. There is much more to the story. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and also be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And if you'd like to set up a private reading with me, you can go to my website at www.raymondguzman.net/shop. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. These are my opinions. I mean no harm by this reading that I'm giving. It's more, it's just for the public. Again, it's my opinion, so you don't have to agree with my opinions or my insight that I have. But thank you so much again. Have a wonderful day.